How does Jordan Peterson define faith? Hi, I'm Ken Yates from Grace Evangelical Society, and I'd like to discuss that for just a few minutes. Jordan Peterson is a well-known, and I think we would say conservative psychologist from Canada, and I am sure that most conservatives who listen to him have enjoyed many of the things that he says, and that they agree with many of the things that he says. But I think there's a danger that we need to be aware of, that when we meet people who might be politically or what could we say, psychologically conservative, that we can hear and we can like what they say, there's also a danger. Because Jordan Peterson, from what I can tell, is not a believer. He talks about religion. He talks about the Bible a lot. But we need to be a little skeptical about jumping in with both feet on the Jordan Peterson bandwagon, or any bandwagon, if you will, of people who are not believers. Recently, I just saw a video clip of him having a discussion with an atheist over faith. What is the meaning of faith? And what is interesting about this discussion is, at least in this area, the atheist is more biblical than Jordan Peterson. Let's watch the clip.
What do you mean when you say you believe?
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if
What's
you
a
believe
belief?
something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
You live for it and you die for it. That's what I mean by that. It isn't something that you say. It isn't something that's associated with logical consistency. It's not declarative. It's not propositional. It's not a figment of your imagination. It's the presupposition of your attention and your action. And you're either fragmented, in which case you worship multiple gods, or there's some unity at the bottom of it that makes you an unstoppable force.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you define belief? Something you say?
Well, can I explain? Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen exists, but if someone threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be able to save my life, right? Like, I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your life?
Don't be so sure.
You wouldn't lie to save your life?
How much do you know about me? I didn't lie to save my career. I didn't lie to save my clinical practice.
Would you lie to save your children, your mom, your dad?
I don't think lying would save them.
Can there ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save someone's life?
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
I'll give you an example. If you're in Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's Jewish people in your attic and you're trying to protect them,
example.
would you lie to the Nazis? If
I
they're
would have
asking?
done everything I bloody well could, so I wouldn't be in that
would
situation
you
to begin
lie?
with. It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like
What?
that because
Did
it's
you eat
far.
today?
Look,
Did you eat
don't
today?
play games.
I'm not playing a game. I'm just
Yes,
asking if
you
you ate
are.
it today.
If you present me with an intractable moral choice that's stripped of context and you back me into a corner, you're playing game.
As you can tell, the young man, the guy who claims to be, he calls himself an atheist agnostic. Those aren't exactly the same thing, but he defines faith as more or less believing something to be true. Here at Grace Evangelical Society, we would say being convinced that something is true. But Jordan Peterson says that's not faith. Did you catch all that he said? He had a very, I would say, convoluted, psychological definition of faith, and I would say an unbiblical definition of faith. He says it's something that you stake your life on, that you live for it, and that you would die for it. Wow, if you step back for a minute, you say, you mean if I'm not willing to die for something, I don't believe it? Now, that seems to be what Jordan Peterson is saying there. I don't think it seems that way. It is what he is saying. And the young man challenges him, gives him some illustrations from Nazi Germany, for example. And Jordan Peterson said, well, that's just hypothetical. And the young man asked Jordan Peterson, well, would you lie, for example, for your family, to save your family and things like that? And Jordan Peterson said that he did not lie when it came to saving his career. And for those of you who know the story of Jordan Peterson, he made a big stand in Canada over what he thought was right when it came to pronouns and being forced to use certain languages. And he was willing to pay a big price in order to, we would say, keep his integrity or to keep free speech. But what he seems to be arguing here is that he did that because he believed in it. And if he hadn't believed in it, he would have lied. But that's not faith. You can believe something and still lie. Jordan Peterson could, for example, believe in free speech and that we shouldn't be forced to use pronouns, but in order to save his career, he might have compromised on that, and he would still have believed in it. Jordan Peterson's definition of faith is much, much closer to a lordship salvation person's definition of faith. That if you, quote unquote, really believe in Jesus, then you'll be willing to die for him. You'll stand up for him. You'll live for him. But that's not what faith means. In this case, the young man was closer to the truth, the way he said it. In fact, he was stating the truth. What he said was, you believe something when you're convinced it's true. Whether you lie about it, or whether you don't live for it, or whether you're not willing to lay down your life for it because you're afraid, you can believe something and not die for it because you're weak, because you're afraid of the cost, for example, of dying, leaving your family alone, or whatever the case may be. So again, this is a warning for us. It's great to listen to someone like Jordan Peterson or others who may agree with us in maybe the political realm or the psychological realm or some of the cultural issues that are going around. But remember, a lot of times, or at least some of the times, they're not biblical in their beliefs. If you like this video, I'd ask that you press the like button and the subscribe button. And remember, keep grace in focus.